Hey miniature enthusiast, J-Star here, and today I want to show you how I put together the other half of my attic studio. So as with the other side, the roof is a 45-degree angle, so we really don't have much space to work with here. Again, I'm still working on the electrics, so those aren't hidden yet, but I wanted to point out the straw. That's a straw in the left-hand corner, and that's where I run my wires up to the front edge of the dollhouse. I run it along the moldings or up the side of the wall, and then that'll eventually get covered with a piece of molding. And here are all the goodies that I want to go in this room, so I have to be very judicious with where I place things because, again, there isn't much space. So I started by adding the fireplace, which just fits against the wall, and it's kind of a thin profile, so it fits pretty well. The sofa is rather large, and so as I did with the large table on the other side, I angled it, and it is fitting right in. The back corner touches the ceiling, and the front corner touches the molding. I've also added this oriental carpet, which I got for very cheap on Amazon. I wanted to add this bust behind the sofa to fill some of that dead space, but the plinth I had was too large, so I painted a toy block and mounted it to that. On the other end of the sofa, I have pushed this little end table way back under the eaves and added a gramophone and a vase and a little cup. And the last two pieces of furniture to add are this little chest and this vintage wicker peacock chair. And again, the chair just fits under the 45-degree slope and against the little cubby cabinet on the other side of it. And the little chest is another mistaken purchase from Temu. I did not check the measurements when I bought it, but I really like the shape of it. The design is really cool, the drawers work. So for an extra piece of furniture in the attic, I think it works. And it's the perfect spot for this Turkish tea set and a couple of vintage photos. On the sofa, I've added a poorly made pillow and a fan made of pheasant feathers. And I also have a stereoscope with a bunch of stereoscope photos laid out. And you see that they've taken their glasses off to look through the stereoscope. And the scope was part of a Krisenbahn kit. I think it's for a side table. It comes with lots of little extra goodies. It's pretty cool. And here on the floor, I've added a Parcheesi set. I've gotten obsessed with making board games lately, and eventually I'll have some in my Etsy shop. I've added a couple stacks of books and a photo album on the peacock chair with another vintage photo laying on it and another badly made pillow. Around the fireplace, we have more hints of it being an art studio with the portrait print and a photograph, and then a bunch of frames leaned up against the fireplace. There's also a little vase and a bust on the mantle. And of course, a little white mouse for good luck. And that completes the other half of the artist studio in the attic of the tiny Chateau Étoile. I imagine that the artist uses this side of the studio to relax, maybe look through books, look at photos obviously, maybe take a nap on the sofa, and maybe have models come and pose on the sofa for him to sketch. And now it's time for your video tour of the artist studio in the attic of the tiny Chateau Étoile. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. From the attic of the tiny Chateau Étoile, this is J-Star saying have a great day and keep making mini.